In a world where our friends call us not us united and our enemies call us midnight rain, two dudes must learn to podcast as the Fremen do in order to survive the desert planet of endless content. We don't care how many enemies we have. They'll never be prepared for us. Not us united. You know that old saying, when life...
Well, Nick,
Yes, Michael?
some would say, Mamma Mia, here we go again, because this is Avatar 2, and we're going again to Pandora.
Dang. Okay, we're right in it. We're here. Okay, my brain is ready.
If you weren't podcast ready, you should be now.
Yeah. It's too bad that you used a sequel that was actually good to explain.
Oh, Avatar 2? Yeah.
Yep.
Wait, do you like Mamma Mia too?
Oh, I love Mamma Mia.
Oh, okay.
And Mamma Mia, too.
Yeah, I've seen both.
I'm sure you have.
I definitely have seen both titles.
Which ones have you not seen?
Both.
Damn. Yeah, Mamma Mia is out of this world.
Well, actually, it's in Greece, so... Or is it in Italy? It's in Italy.
No, yeah, well, that's a good question.
Isn't it in Greece?
Yeah, it feels like kind of Grease,
Yeah.
but not like the musical Grease.
Right, because it's
Right.
Mamma Mia.
Don't want to get that confused.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there are cats in it, but it's not like the Cats musical.
Right, which Nick said last week that Cats is a better musical than Hamilton.
You know what? Is it an unpopular opinion, or is it
Yes.
a correct opinion?
No.
The jury's still out.
Well, the jury of Michael says incorrect opinion and also unpopular.
I'd be curious of the listeners out there.
You're not going to be favored.
Did you really enjoy Hamilton, or did you enjoy being a part of everyone else enjoying Hamilton?
Wow. You're just not mainstream, you know? You're just like against the...
No, because I know that that exists too, but man, I just did not vibe with Hamilton.
Yeah, I think you didn't vibe with Hamilton before it was cool to not vibe with Hamilton.
No, I didn't even get to see it for like the first 6 years. I saw it like on Disney+.
Well, didn't you listen into it? Like, didn't you just like...
I heard some of the songs, but then I finally got it on Disney Plus when they
Right.
Hey,
Here it is.
here it is. And I made it halfway through and was just like, nah, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
The King was good.
Sure.
The King in Hamilton was good.
Mr. King Hamilton. Got it.
Yeah, that's historically accurate. I
Yeah.
think. If I'm not mistaken, he does become a king, yeah.
That's how democracy works.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, you know, hot takes on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And for those just joining us, this is...
For those tuning in 3 minutes after clicking play.
If this is your first time with us at Not Us United,
Oh, got it.
you have so much to look forward to. We are just a podcast that likes to see cinema a little bit differently. We
Yeah.
like to see the weird and the crazy and the wild,
Mhm.
and have bad opinions on musicals.
Yeah.
Half of us have bad opinion on musicals.
That is true.
And we just thank you for listening to us. Not Us United.
Not Us United. Beautiful.
And I think this week is going to encapsulate a good idea of what Not Us United is.
How so?
I don't know.
Okay.
Just because that sounded nice.
Oh, it
But
did.
I think we have differing opinions on a movie that we're going to review this week, Avatar 2, The Way
Yeah.
of Water.
Yeah.
AKA James Cameron films in a submarine for 10 years.
Yes. That is true.
And so I think before we hop into that review,
Mm-hmm.
fresh takes, I wanted to get your opinion on Avatar, the first Avatar,
Mm-hmm.
the one that came before this one.
Okay, got it. And not The Last Airbender.
Yes, the superior Avatar.
Got it. Okay.
In my opinion. And
so I did what every American person did back in, like, what was that?
2008.
2008. Yeah.
I think.
I went and saw it because you had to see it. What
Mhm.
an experience.
Mm-hmm.
And this was around the time too of like other CGI heavy movies, like they just remade King Kong around this time, like Peter Jackson's King
Mhm.
Kong, I think was
Yeah.
somewhere mid 2000s.
Yeah.
And a couple others like that. And so we were just kind of on the cusp of like, hey, movies can actually look good and all this stuff, even though a lot of what's on screen isn't real.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you telling me movies aren't real?
What?
You telling me?
No. But as it's aged with me, it loses it's a cool world to be a part of. I just think the overall finished product that we were given story-wise wasn't as interesting as I would have liked.
Nice. Okay.
I am kind of in the belief that, like, what if we did a before Avatar and it was just purely like Na'vi doing Na'vi stuff, even if it's like Civil War or like there can still be like conflict. It doesn't have to just be that, because it's not clearly like this automatically peaceful place.
Well, yeah, there's warriors in
that
world.
They're trained for something, you know. So like, I think I would have just been more interested than that, but it just kind of felt like there had to be this injection of us as well into that story. And so it just didn't sit well with me in the end, because I felt like, and this is spoilers for the
first
Avatar, is I don't like the story of this alien race that's like raised to have these really cool spiritual practices, and like they're all becoming very disciplined to do things, and some guy comes in as an outsider and ends up being the best at it,
right?
And in certain context, I just think that's like just shouldn't have been the story, but whatever, to each their own. People want to become, the whole point was like, could you become something greater than human if you found something better than being a human? Sure, get it, totally good. I just don't like the whole chosen one being outside the like people who spend their whole life.
I mean, it's like a Dances with Wolves, even like The Last Samurai, which I do enjoy those movies, but it's like, okay.
I still feel like even in The Last Samurai though, there's like, he can't one man everything. I mean, he definitely does some stuff that like, yes, but like it's still required so much other characters and stuff to do that. I just felt like Jake Sully was like,
the savior.
I spent a few months learning these people's language, and now I'm their chosen one.
Right,
it's like,
he goes and
that feels weird, you know. I don't know, just kind of feels odd for me to like have that be the main storyline. So that's kind of where I like, it just doesn't sit well with me. Beautiful film though, like, I mean, looks visually, James Cameron, like, yes and amen, your gimmick worked,
right? Like,
it looks great,
right?
Anyway, sorry, that was long-winded.
I mean, that pretty much sums up my opinion on the movie as well. I think it's a really cool movie. I think it's really nice to look at, and even like watching it again before this movie, I'm like, this holds up. And I like the world. It's interesting. It's like, the looks nice. I just don't think, and I think the idea of having like this avatar body, especially with like someone who's like, who can't use his legs, and just like, oh, like what does that mean when he wakes up and he's like, he still like has to like get back into his wheelchair. And just like, okay, well then I think there is some kind of like thought provoking things there. But I feel the like content of what's going on in the movie doesn't feel like it enough to sustain the movie. And even like this, spoilers for thoughts on the second one, like it doesn't feel full enough to be like, here's a 3-hour movie. Here's an experience, and I love this, and I love the world, I love the lore. It's like, nah, I don't know. It's interesting, but I'm not like, Avatar's the thing.
Yeah, it's interesting how much time is spent in this film and in the previous one. And it's just like, why did you pick that story to explore such an interesting planet? Like, it almost leaves us like, hey, the planet's pretty cool. Can we explain the lore of it more? Nope, but here's guys with guns. And I'm like, got it. I know that there's bad guys with guns, but like, what about, why is this tree connected to everything? Don't worry about that. Now,
they can use guns too. Or it's like, okay, got it. And it's just like, I get that there's war, but it just like wants to keep reminding you it's like evil, like colonizing evil. I'm like, got it. But why is this place so worth saving? They're like, don't worry about it yet. And so maybe it'll get explained. I just don't know why it's taking the first 2 films so long to like explain more about it. Now there's definitely some beautiful moments when it slows down. It's like when Jake is like acclimating, you kind of get some of that in the first one. But I feel like even in the second one, they don't do a whole lot. It's mostly just like go, 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 bad guys. And it's just like, but it's 3 hours long. Like you can take your time and explain, you know, why all of this is such a sacred place, and like explain the lore of why these specific animals do this or whatever. And I just feel like they don't do that. They're just kind of, it's all implied, and then, but like, why take shortcuts when you have this much film time? Yeah,
and it feels like watching it again, it just feels like it's good, and I think I enjoyed it more than I remember enjoying it. Like I was pretty cold on the movie, and I was like, oh, there's not a lot of substance there, but it's good. Like it's a good movie still. I enjoy it. It's like probably like a 7.5 for me.
Gotcha.
Like, and I enjoy the sci-fi nature of it, and I enjoy like, okay, we're on this world, and it's like, okay, like the plot is good enough, but I think there's other movies that have done it before and could do it better, and it's just like doesn't feel unique enough. It's just, here's this idea, but now it's in space, and I'm like, okay, cool, but it just doesn't, like, nothing about it really grips me particularly of the movie, and so it just feels hard to be like, yes, to champion Avatar.
Right. No, I agree with that.
Besides the fact that it looks good.
Yeah. And, I mean, what's crazy to me about going back to the first one is it's not like the second one looks so much better. I think the first one just did such a good job of capturing, like, and the technology they used, that I was almost surprised that this one didn't look somehow, like, ridiculously different or, like, a huge upgrade.
Right.
I think that just speaks to, like, what they were doing with the first one.
It is. I mean, set aside like any of our opinions of the movie, it is incredible that this movie can be made the way it is.
Yeah.
And it looks fantastic, and like there's never a moment where I'm like, that's definitely fake. But it's like, oh no, that looks the world it's in is real.
Yeah, it's almost like you know, when they're producing new technology, like in the video game realm, and they're like, check out this engine run this demo of this fake game that doesn't actually exist, but we programmed it to be like a Superman simulator.
Sure.
Look how realistic it is. If you just treat Avatar like a screensaver for IMAX or like test footage for like what can be done with film, it exceeds because it's awesome. Like, it just looks great. Like, it's visually amazing. I think there might have even been one scene where, like, I think they might have used, like, a practical thing in a CGI explosion, and then I caught it, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's actually real, and it looks fake. Like,
interesting.
Like in Avatar 2.
Oh, yeah?
Where I was like, just stick with it all being fake, because it all just looks great. It's almost like you're watching, like, I don't know.
When it mixes,
it's like a video game, you know? But, like, yeah, they finally do, like, a real set. And then it's like, oh, no, this feels weird. Oh, yeah. Gross. Like, the real stuff looks bad. Yeah, and that's what I feel like is this gimmick, is, like, look what we can do. And it's like, I know, but, man, you're making such a cool, mysterious world, and you just keep telling me that people are evil.
Yeah.
And it's like, great, now let's, like... And it seems like now he's, like, using that to market other movies. He's like, you wanted more story? Get ready for 3. And it's like, you like, there are so many trilogies where enough story has happened by part 3 that you don't need more story. You just want it to conclude.
Finish the story.
You don't go, those were appetizers. Get ready for the real.
I know, yeah.
It's like, that's how it feels like he's treating these.
Yeah, it does feel like that. And it's like, get ready, every 12 years there's going to be, I mean, but I think the third one will come out.
Yeah,
I think officially... I think
it's already filmed.
And it's like gonna get released. Like, it made enough money. Avatar 2 made enough money.
So it'll be faster now.
And so I don't know if that has a thing to do with it, where it's like we just haven't seen anything in this world for like 10, 12 years, and it's like, and then like coming back to it, I guess we can move on to a little bit of Avatar 2. Unless you want to score first Avatar real quick. I said 7.5-ish.
Yeah, I'd probably sit Avatar. Like, I don't really revisit it that often. So it's probably like sitting at like a 6 for me.
Okay.
It looks great. And I think like the story in the first one's a lot better than the second. And so if that gives you any hint of where my score is going to be for number 2. But anyway.
Yeah. I think there's, I think there's bright spots in Avatar 2. So I think let's go into a non-spoilery review of Avatar 2, The Way of Water.
The Way of Water.
If you could give Jake Sully a score of how interesting he is as a character.
Yeah, sure.
What would you give him?
In Avatar 2.
And why is it 4?
Our boy Jake gets a big L. That's the score. Yeah, I won't spoil why that is. But yeah. What was so beautiful about the first one was like he had realized that there was something beyond, just being like a human and like connected spiritually, and there's this really cool component. And I just feel like he was a plot motivator device thing in this one to just kind of create events that take place in the movie. Like,
I think that's weird. Even being generous.
Like, can a character be a MacGuffin?
Yeah, I think he's entirely dependent on everyone else.
Yeah.
He doesn't control any of the action. He controls kind of one big decision.
Yeah.
And that kind of starts the movie. But other than that, it's like he's reactive. And that doesn't feel super... And not that I'm like, oh, Jake Sully, love that guy.
No, but it is weird that, like... And I've been telling you this. You have 13 years to make this movie. It does feel weird that there's just, like, not a lot of thought put into... I shouldn't say there isn't a lot of thought. Maybe somebody put in a lot of thought. I'm sure, yeah. It just doesn't appear to me that, like, all the character development that took place in the first one just seems to have been forgotten because now it's like maybe they'll forget. And it's just like, he grew so much as a person, and now it's like he's completely out of his element in this movie. And it's like, I don't understand how all of the... You can be uncomfortable and it makes you do like a mistake, but he's like just ridiculous in this movie. I don't understand.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. And so I guess basic idea of what happens in the first few minutes here is that Jake Sully has a family.
Yep.
And him and Natiri, right?
Yeah. It's like real time. Like, it's actually been 13.
Yeah.
Or maybe even
I think
more.
it's a little more.
Maybe like 15.
I think his oldest kid. There's like a time jump where like the kids grow up.
Yeah.
But at some point the humans come back, and they're like, "What are we gonna do?" And so that's where it kind of instigates
the Sky People, baby.
The Sky People. And I'm like, I don't know. There was like a him narrating over some stuff in the beginning. I like that, and like the Sky People coming down.
Oh, dude.
And I'm like, I like this.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
And the family element. I think the one huge thing that this movie has going for it is the family element.
Sure.
I think it's the crevice, the crux. I don't know. The movie rests on it.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think it is a shining point, and I think I give it more points for it than that. And I'm not even a father, so get on me.
Yeah, and I guess maybe since I'm not a father at the stage at where he is, it was just hard for me to really connect with him. I get some of the like classic like disappointed dad stuff. But yeah, no, I think they're going to be the main vessel, which makes sense. I don't think Avatar 1 ended in a way where it's like, oh sweet, that's the end of Jake Sully and we're just going to learn some other stuff. I'm not even bothered that we're still stuck with him.
No.
That makes perfect sense to me. But yeah, there was just a lot of growth that happened where it's like, we are stronger, we are like better, we're going to do this the right way. And then it felt like one bad thing happens at the beginning of the movie, and then they're just like, never mind, we forgot all of our ways, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, wait, right.
Yeah, it feels...
Like, why build all of this up just to go... Now, it almost just feels like we're starting over again.
Yes, it did feel like starting over.
So we just did Avatar again.
Yes, I think that's the major negative about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like, okay, where did all this growth that we had is not there anymore.
Right.
And I like the idea of going to the, like, seeing more of, like, some other Na'vi.
Yeah.
Of, like, the water people. Like, that's really cool and that's really interesting. I just didn't know, like, where we were going to get that from. Mm-hmm. Being as vague as possible, I guess. But
ideally where the water is.
Yeah, ideally where the water is.
But you didn't know that.
Yeah, it's by the water. Yeah, there's water here. There's water in this movie.
To the water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're insane. But I just think I was disappointed in that, like, it just felt like very similar beats in a lot of the moments that made it feel like, okay, why did we need to have this movie particularly?
Mm-hmm.
Where I felt like we were going to do something new in this, but
Correct.
It felt like we weren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
And it felt like Jake as a character and a lot of the people there were just kind of not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I think is a good way to describe the movie.
If this movie, for me, and like, if this movie was like executives going, hey, Avatar 1 slapped. I know we haven't even worked on a script, but screw it, just do the most generic sequel you can do to get this out in a year. This movie makes a whole lot more sense.
Oh, yeah.
But since it was 13 years later, I think it's just hard for me to, like, swallow what's happening, because it felt very, like, by the book sequel for sequel's sake.
Yeah.
Bigger, badder, awesome, but, like, the plot itself was mostly
bigger,
80,
badder.
Yeah, it was just 80% the
Avatar.
same.
Yeah.
It, like, and so it just felt weird to be like, why are we still
here?
Yeah, especially if it's like 15 years later. Like, aren't you just like a master at like you were so good in like 6 months of training. Now, what if you're like a dad with like little warriors and you've had 15 years to make an army of like whatever, and there's like, you're like one level up from the last time we saw you. And I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand continuity wise how like this all is happening.
Yeah,
so.
and I have some gripes that I really want to get to in spoilers in themselves, and so I think let's hold on to that. Let's place a little pin in that.
Sorry.
Let's place a little like Avatar pin.
Sorry. I plugged my ponytail into like the excitement vine of the tree.
Yeah, that's something we can get into.
And I started saying things.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I just think, okay, so overall, do you think that, I guess we were kind of getting to that, like the necessity of this film. Do you think this film needed to be made, or do you need like just the general like, and I guess also, are you excited for like an Avatar 3?
Okay. Twofold answer. I do think there needed to be, yes, I think Avatar is a lush storytelling, like, property that, like, there could be many stories. This could be a good franchise.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't think, like, Disney bought it to be like, that one movie was really good, let's make half of our parks look like it.
Yeah.
No, like, it's going to be a good place for like TV shows and all this stuff. I think
expensive TV shows.
The world, what?
Expensive TV shows.
Yeah. The world could use more stories, and I would be interested in more stories.
Mm-hmm.
Is this sequel necessary in its existence? No. Like, what they chose to do, if they just canonically said this didn't happen or it did, like, if this just didn't happen and they went ahead and did, like, some spin-off TV show or just started picking some new characters to, like, focus on, I would be totally fine, because nothing important enough happened in this movie that made me care about seeing more stories in this world. If that makes sense. But
yeah, I understand.
But I do want to see more in this world, because the stuff that they haven't even scratched the surface on, I think is very interesting, and would like to see more. So, like, I'm saying, don't just burn this ship, but I'm also like, don't wait so long and then deliver us that, I guess, is
right.
where I'm at.
Yeah, I think it is just like a component of it is the weight that we had to have, where it's just like, and it wasn't really part of the social construct of Avatar, where it's like Marvel or like Star Wars or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just like, I know some people who really enjoyed the movie, but I just don't think they're extremely vocal about it, or at least just maybe not in like the internet circles that I'm in or whatever, too, or like, it's always just kind of like, oh, like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like the social idea of Avatar is just not very present. Yeah. And so like it coming back, I'm like, cool, it's back. And they're like, a lot of the movie, we talked about this before, where it's just like, yeah, remember what happened in other Avatar? Didn't you love what happened in other Avatar? And it's like, well, you have one movie to base that off of. I can't have nostalgia for a movie that like just like did one thing.
Yeah, you can't have like
and you took forever to make it.
Avengers Endgame, but it's right after Iron Man. It's like, remember how good Iron Man was? It's like, this doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Why are we revisiting the one movie we've seen?
Yeah. Yeah, like just move on. Just go. Just keep going.
And it just felt so like narrow in what they chose to bite off that I'm just sitting there going like, you could do anything.
Yeah.
Like that was the whole point of the first movie, was like, we have barely scratched the surface. You've ridden one dog horse thing. You've gotten like a little dragon, and then you got Big Boy Dragon. First of all,
dope.
Got to talk about Big Boy Dragon for spoilers in season 2.
Sure.
Or series.
Movie 2.
Movie 2. But it was just like, oh man, I want more of this, because man, can you imagine what's like 3 miles in the other direction, or like 100 miles? Like, how big is this place?
Yeah.
Like, this is just, it's wild.
Yeah.
And I just felt like they teased us with water.
Yeah.
So this is going to be far away. And then it was just, there was too much.
It's weird to, it's tackling so much, but also not doing enough.
Yeah. It's like, it's trying to be like, we're geographically going places in Avatar, but like, we have to give you a reason why, but the reason why isn't good enough. And so it's just going to be kind of unsatisfying.
I think what really is hanging me up on the movie is the reason why they left is very inadequate for me.
Oh, 100%.
And I'm just like, why are we doing this here? Like, I enjoy the water stuff. I think it's very good.
Dope.
I think it's great.
Yep.
And that's exploring the world. But the reason we got here is kind of dumb.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Just like, I'm with
the water.
Yeah.
I'm the way of the water.
Dude,
I love
water.
And there's whales in this movie, dude. It's dope.
Yeah.
There's some dope stuff.
There's like dragons that are also the water dragons, and it's like,
very
dude,
cool.
Dude.
Very cool.
Sick.
Bro, if you will.
Bro, indeed. But it just felt like we were almost like, you know, like when you're about to like fly your kite, but then you didn't give it enough slack, so it's like, and it like tugs.
Jerks, yeah.
That's how I felt the entire movie, where I'm like, oh, we're about to fly. Oh, no, we're not. Oh, okay, cool. And it's like, oh, we're about to. No, not yet. It's like, stop holding us back. Just go, baby. Like, you do not, like, you're the highest grossing film of all time. You can literally do whatever you want.
And you have training wheels on.
We got to play it safe. I'm like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't have to play it safe.
Yeah. That's a great,
you have
great
all
point.
the money in the world. You purposely came out 10 years later just so that you could stay the highest grossing film because you made enough money. It's insane. Like, there's no excuse for it.
Yeah.
It needed to be better. And maybe that's why I'm bashing it so hard. Maybe it is like a 7, but because it totally should be like a 9 because of all the money and the time and all the stuff. I'm like, no, it's a 3.
No. Are you saying it's? I was like, holy cow! I think we need to go into spoilers.
Let's do it. But it is a 5 for me.
It's a 5 for you.
Yes.
I'm really like 6.5, 7.
No,
like
you're a 5.
Okay, no, not quite.
You're
Maybe after
if I say you're a 5, will you just become a 5?
Probably. I think after our conversation, I might be 6.5, just because I like a lot of the stuff. I probably like more of the stuff going on in this movie than I do in Avatar. But I think the average of Avatar is better than the average of this, where it's like I just get kind of like annoyed or frustrated with some of the things that are going on in this movie. And one of them is the guys in this movie just say bro.
They
and
say
if
bro
anyone is under the age of like 20, they just say bro every other word, and I don't know why, but it pissed me off so much.
This is James Cameron trying to write for the young people.
Well, he's hip and cool,
He thinks he is.
He's a cool dad or whatever. I don't. He has kids, right?
Sure. Yeah, they're called the Na'vi. Nice. Yeah.
Oh man.
This is what I think James Cameron like. I think this is his like dreams.
Mm-hmm.
He is Jake Sully in his dreams. So he's I'm gonna make a movie. Everyone's gonna love it. It's like, I don't like being in your dreams.
Get me out of your dreams, please. It just feels like him or whoever the writers were for the movie being like, I know how 15-year-olds talk.
Yeah.
And they say
One
bro.
word.
They say bro to each other a lot. And I'm like, I mean, probably, but shut up.
But shut up.
Because if you say bro, and then you say, let's go, bro. It's time to go, bro. Mm-hmm. I'm with you, bro. It's like, okay, bro was the thing you said the most there.
Yeah.
And I'm just like...
They said bro too much.
They said bro far too many times. And and Spider.
The character Spider.
Spider.
Yep.
I like...
Kind of a piece.
I like the idea of Spider. I like the idea of like... I don't know. I know. So I'm like, oh, he had a kid or something?
Yep.
Did we know that?
Nope. Though there's definitely a lot of conceived children that came out of a plot that just decided there were.
Yes. Okay. Because I was like, okay, here's the Sigourney Weaver's kid.
Yeah, like Jake Sully having kids.
Great.
Makes sense.
Yes.
But then they're like, no, but like there has to be like other kids that aren't from Jake.
Yes.
And it just was like, just felt weird. It's like all off screen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, again, this is just another gripe for like 13 years, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, 13 years.
I'm not necessarily
you are
negative on that. It's just like, I think the character of Spider is interesting, and I just don't like him.
Sure. No, he's also another MacGuffin that has to move the plot.
Oh, for
forward.
sure.
Yeah, like there's just little things where, you're really for like Act 3, but we'll just pretend that you're interesting for the first 2 acts, because we have to keep you around.
Yeah, and I just don't like... Okay, I'm just going to keep going.
Let's go.
Okay. I just don't like how Spider, when he gets captured by the Marine avatars...
Yes.
And his
the hoorahs?
The hoorah, Super 5. I like their voices. They sounded good. Like when something...
They can't shave their ponytails, but they did shave as much as they could of their heads, which was interesting.
It was good. I actually kind of like those guys, but it was just like...
I hate that you said that.
Okay. Go ahead. It was just funny because I was like, oh, well, if they catch him, we'll chase him in hell. And the guy's, oorah. And I'm like,
oorah. What does that even mean?
It means I don't know.
No, I'm just saying, like, we'll get you in hell. And it's like, okay, got it.
Okay. But I just didn't like when he got captured by those guys. And Spider's like, I'm not going to help you. But anyways, here's how to find all this stuff. Bro.
Hey, Spider, bro. You'll never get a thing out of me. But what if I'm, like, slightly not mean to you? And he's like, shit, I didn't think of that.
You like my dad? You like my dad, bro? Anyways, I don't like you, and I'm not going to do anything. But if you put me in a helicopter, I'll tell you exactly where to go and how to get dragons and how to find islands. Bro.
Which he didn't even know about, right?
No, he didn't know about the islands were because there was the helicopter thing flew out and to try and take care of Grace's kid.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's like there was trajectory going this way. I'm like, cool, got it, figured it out.
Yeah.
Sure, MacGuffin.
MacGuffin.
And then Spider's like on the helicopter, like
that's right,
translating for these other Na'vi, and he's like, I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm just don't. Or just like you, like even at that point, like you can say he's like caught up in it and he can't stop. Sure, that at that point I understand that. But him even like being around and helping, I think he's like basically willingly going along with all this.
Yeah, and if you think about his life, he grew up like almost probably like unsympathetic to humans. I know they look more like him,
sure,
but like you're talking about like 13 to 15 years of like being taken care of by the Na'vi, and then you're just like letting them getting tortured. Yeah. And it's just like, sorry, like they got a gun to my head. It's like, no, you could just like go back on the ship and not tell them a thing.
Yeah. And I know they got the brain thingy and they'll probably figure it out, but like I would rather him be unwilling
100%
and they get their information out of him.
Yeah.
Than like him being like, I'm never gonna do anything.
But I'll never
tell.
Did you say you might be
I'll
my
never
dad?
betray you.
You can't be my dad because you're blue. But wait, what?
But like, bro, it's just like
Oh yeah.
It didn't work for me.
Spider's a huge L.
Yeah.
Big L.
However you say L in Navi.
Yeah. Big loser energy.
Yeah, not a fan of Spider.
Yeah.
And again, I enjoyed the idea of like being like this villain having the child and like him like softening up. I'm like, I don't necessarily hate that. Nor do I hate like the idea of like him becoming like the Jake Sully and like being like, okay, Avatar and human can like coexist and be friends and and then like just I like the idea of his character, but everything they did with him was stupid and I don't like it.
Beautiful, well said. I do have things that I do like about this movie, but I'm gonna keep on the pain train with you.
Do negative for a while?
Oh
okay.
yeah. I'm gonna plug my ponytail into the pain train and just keep it going.
It's been in there for 30 minutes.
The two biggest gripes I can think about, for motivations of like fleeing to keep everyone quote unquote safe, because they did a year of like war that we were supposed to just believe like was devastating. Like they did another time jump after the Sky People came.
Oh yeah.
So it's like a year later they've been fighting.
That was like the most interesting stuff.
Yeah, super dope. Like, what if we just spent a year in him like becoming this like military, whatever. Like the forest Na'vi are just killing it. It seems like
that was a great scene. I loved when the train scene. That was cool.
And you know, like there was literally, I think like 20 minutes of the original Avatar where they talk about this giant dragon thing that only one person can ride every generation. And Jake Sully became that guy. So they did the Chosen One thing, which, you know, I hated, but they did it. Not even in this movie. You know what would have been helpful for, like, I don't know, every single scenario of this movie? Maybe the giant dragon that you can, like, do all of this awesome stuff with. You know what would have helped, like, I don't know, when you're getting attacked from the sky? A giant dragon. Like, and they didn't even give us, like, a sentence of, it died.
Yeah.
You know what would help get your family to, like, the island that you have to fly to faster than 5 little dragons?
Protected.
A giant dragon.
One big dragon.
One big dragon.
Oh, man.
Like,
I didn't even think of that thing.
13 years later, he thought we forgot.
But
and it's like, that was the coolest thing about the first movie, was you got the giant dragon. And then you don't use the giant dragon. And it would have been useful in, I'm not even exaggerating, every situation they were in that they were like, no.
You get your family captured on a boat. Oh, giant dragon.
You know what would help take down the giant boat, or even like lift it out of the water? Probably
an equally giant dragon.
Like a giant dragon. Like there's not. I can go through every single one. It's like, oh no, the kids, they're not safe. We got to get to them quick. Get on the water, dolphins. And it's like, no. How about the dragon that could like fight the thing that's in the water? Because your little water dolphins aren't gonna do anything to it. It's just like, oh, it hurt every ounce of that movie.
You were thinking that for 3 hours.
Yeah, I'm just like, surely he's gonna do like some like, oh, Taruk, blah 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 blah, and then like it just comes from the sky, and it's like, it's back, baby. Not even mentioned in this movie.
It has to be dead.
Sure, that's. But
fine. Like no, the same. I think the one that Natiri is using is probably the same one, because they can only ride. They can only bond with one.
To one. Yeah, and he bound to the big one.
The big one.
Yeah, dude. Super salty.
Did not even think of that. That's so funny.
This movie.
That's like, so funny.
And so I'm just sitting there, and it's like all this dire situations that they're in. I'm just like, dude, I thought he was like prepared for this. Or like when they're doing the supply raids, and they have to have people be a lookout, and it's like, don't even have your sons be a lookout. Just have the giant dragon killing helicopters. like you don't even need a lookout. Like,
I don't know, the huge dragon that could warn you if something comes.
It just hurts so bad watching it.
Wow.
And then they wouldn't have to worry about leaving the forest Na'vi, because the whole reason they left the forest Na'vi were like, we don't want you to die for us, so we're gonna go find other people who
to
maybe
die
die for us.
That's the biggest thing for me.
And so I'm just sitting there going like, yeah, but it would be comforting to know that at least you're bringing like an incredibly legendary beast along with you. To, like, help. If I was the water people, I was like, how are you going to defend yourselves? You've brought 5 little dragons that can't do crap here. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, but we got this one. Got like, oh, sick. Okay, cool. Like one of the gods of this entire planet.
That'll probably also help you like blend into like being like, I need sanctuary. But also, here's how powerful I am. Like, help me. Like, I'm like one of you.
It's not like they had to fly under the radar. Like, they're getting choppy winds from the sea. It's like, we may drown. And it's like, well, what if you were on your big-ass dragon? Like, would you drown then?
You can't drown on the back of a giant dragon.
Oh, man, dude.
That's so funny. Okay, did not think of that.
Well, that's because he tricked you. He waited 13 years to make us forget. He's like, they're surely not going to remember the giant dragon that they spent 20 minutes of the entire first film getting.
Okay, so
stupid. Unforgivable.
Hold on.
Unforgivable.
Hold on.
They didn't even say it died.
It's just hold on.
So it's floating around just going like... It's just like, man, I wonder if Jake still wants me because no one else can like ride me because he plugged his ponytail into me.
My friend needs anything.
Dude. Either way, it's bad. Either way, he abandoned it, and it can't do its purpose. or maybe
it's dead.
He didn't like release it into the wild, did he? At the first one, I
don't think so.
Maybe that's what he. No, I'm pretty sure it's like his.
Even if they say it's like released into the wild, but what about all the other dragons you're using?
Yeah, and he just dude, brutal.
Okay.
Anyway,
I'm gonna time out on the dragon thing.
Sure.
And move backwards a little bit to what you were saying about the decision to leave.
Yes.
That is the biggest gripe I have with this movie.
Yeah.
Because to be like, he's like, I don't want you guys to risk your life fighting me. It's like, that's what we've been doing this whole time.
Yeah.
Like, that's like,
and he's kind of like the king at this point too. So it's like, why? It's
like my family needs to be safe where these other people are. I'll hide out there. Yeah. It's like, yeah, sure, you probably could hit out there. But, like, they're still going to be attacking the Na'vi. They're not going to just stop attacking the Na'vi.
Yeah, so anything, you, like, left them.
Yeah. Defenseless.
Yeah, and you're the military leader. And, he passed it off to the guy who, like, would have done it in the first one anyway.
Sure,
totally fine. But did you leave him the big dragon? I don't think so.
There's a huge lack of a giant dragon.
I don't know, dude. I think that, in and of itself, is, like... worth complaining about.
What, the dragon?
100%. 100%.
I think my bigger complaint is, well, maybe the dragon.
There's nothing bigger than that dragon. There's nothing. Like, literally, there's nothing bigger than the dragon. It could have helped in so many situations, and he, like, flew it one time. So stupid.
No, it's a one-time dragon.
It's like in a video game where you get the, like, end level, like... best gun in the game, and then they're just like, and then the next movie or the next game comes out, and it's like, oh wait, you don't have that anymore. It's like, like you gotta, dude.
Oh man, I think it's just frustrating that it feels like they had a point to get to the water, and they needed to get to the water, and they didn't really care how that happened. And I'm just
very worried about getting to water.
Yes, and I'm like, got it, way of water, cool, but. I just did not fully understand why we had to go to the water. Like, why not be like, and it just is punctuated at the end of the movie where it's like, Jake's like, I understand that my home is here. It's like, no. Your home was where the tree was.
Yep.
Like in the forest. Like that's the whole point of the first movie.
When the second one ends, like the first one's like, I've now figured out who I am. And it's like, bro. Like, I thought you've done this line before. Bro. Like, and then he, like, wakes up again, and it's like, no, you can't. If we end every movie with him opening his eyes, I'm going to punch him in the face. If I could. I'm going to find this dragon, and I'm going to go eat him.
The dragon? You're going to eat the dragon? No, I'm
going to get the dragon to eat Jake Sully. Okay. Sorry.
Which you probably will, because he's like, he just left me.
See, in the third one, the dragon will be the bad guy. I'm like, no,
because then you'll be like, dragon, go dragon.
Yeah, well, that's true. He'll like have to rebound with it, and I'll be like,
it's like, did you not forget about me? I, the dragon, you forgot about me.
just even a line. It's like, how could you forget such a huge chunk? Like, if you don't stop me, I'm going to keep talking about
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to reel you back in.
There's no, I can't come back. All right. Good stuff about this movie. Here you go. I like that the Na'vi have a slightly different look depending on geographically where they are.
Cool. They got the big old tails.
Cool. Big old tails, and the arms are very thick. Yep. Okay. That's what arms make. That sound. Yep. When they're in the water, I suppose. I like that.
I like the water
dolphins.
I
liked their use of sign language.
Very cool.
I think they're very mindful of things where it's like, oh, that's cool, and that it's unique. I think they hired a guy that like specifically came up with a new sign language for them to use. That's cool. Yeah, I like that. Very cool. They're pushing these types of things.
It would make sense to be like, we're underwater, we can't communicate.
Correct.
Is that it?
That's it. No, no, just kidding. I think that the animals that they did come up with were creative and cool looking. I liked the
whales. The
whales were dope. I did like their kind of like dolphin motorbike things.
Yeah, those were cool.
That they could kind of fly a little bit. I just, again, the whole like training to become a Na'vi again.
Yeah.
It almost feels like he is ironically copying Avatar: The Last Airbender, and he's going to have to go to all the nations and like learn how to bend like each element.
Yeah.
Because it kind of, like, I've already heard him speak on what the third one will be, and there is going to be a fire Na'vi.
Fire Nation?
So
he's done earth and water. What's air?
Cameron, my guy. Like,
Is he air?
I think he would already be earth. Well, no,
because earth, because he's air, because he's from the sky.
Fair. Well, no, I know, but I mean, he said he left the forest Na'vi, so that sounds more earthy.
That's way earth.
Yeah.
So he was born air because he came from the sky.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He is the air. Oh my God, he's copying The Last Airbender. We can't let him get away with it. But I just don't want each movie to be like,
next,
the water people wouldn't accept us anymore. We must become fire people. It's like, okay, no, we're not doing this.
You can't do this one more. You can't do it.
So I'll still go. I'm still in it. That I'll go see a third one.
I definitely would see a third one. I'm interested enough to be like, this is cool, and and
there's also got to be an internal, like, there's clearly Na'vi that are willing to like be traders and probably like, it kind of feels like Black Panther, where there's the 5 tribes, but like one of them might be a tribe that's like a little more like, they kind of stay up in the mountains, kind of a thing. So that's to me what the third one's probably going to be, is like less human bad guys.
Yeah.
And maybe more like, what if the Na'vi like don't respect each other too, and then that could leave an opening where, what if the whole world has to come together to be united?
I think too, it was just a lot. And I like the world building of like, okay, now we're moving on to the water. But it just felt like now everything is just focused on the water and nothing else matters.
Just elements.
No, not even that. But like the water just tribes, and just being like, well, now they're doing the whale hunt.
Oh, and, like quit. You can build lore without having Jake have to do tutorial missions the whole movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just like, and I liked the visual aspect of doing the whale hunting. I thought that was really interesting. I thought that was like, dude, the freaking crab robots. Let me tell you about.
I laughed audibly when I saw the crab robots.
Come on, the crab robots.
Dude, the humans are whacked in this movie. They are
crab
crazy.
Robots. Come on, crab robots. I thought you would be all about that.
Okay.
It's literally a crab with human arms.
I need 20 minutes of the next film to explain why the humans have inexhaustible resources, but the world is dying.
That's just a call on humanity, right? That's what we would do.
Sure.
We can't save the world. We gotta.
I know, but like, no one feels down and out. They all feel like, we came to this place and we are living our best lives. Let's kill everything. And it's like, what is going? Like, why are you like this?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the whale hunting was a way to at least dive into that a little bit.
Nice.
But it was way too long and way too like into what it was like. It just felt a little too raw for me.
Raw as in like
they just killed it for so long.
Don't you think that's like the point?
Maybe, but like
to be
but I
cruel.
don't know who's behind all of this and why they're doing it. It just feels cruel.
No, okay, that's more what I understand the cruelty because it's like, oh, humans are awful. Got it. But the reason why it's kind of like, okay, yeah, you do the whole like, it doesn't age human life.
Yeah.
Cool, got it. But like, it's just like, okay, wait, I didn't know we were hunting whales. And then now I got to figure out that the whales are peaceful, but they're not fighting back. But then the whales have a society. And then I got to figure out like, wait, when did we start hunting the whales? And they're cool with us hunting the whales?
And they're like super hard to kill,
yeah.
But they're also not.
But yeah, they actually seemed fairly easy.
Yeah, just balloons. It's like, wait.
When did we invent those?
Yeah, so there was a lot going on, and it felt like I was in book 5 of...
But also book 1.
But I was also in book 1, and I'm like, can we explain who the bad guy is and why we're doing this?
Oh, well,
like,
can we explain the bad guy? Because it's just an avatar body of...
Also, yeah. You want me to go off on that one, too?
Yeah, sure. I thought we were talking about positives. I talked about the crab things, and you're just like, no.
Okay, yeah, okay. What other robots did you like?
I like the crab one.
The crab one was interesting.
I like the little divey.
Yep. Do you feel like crabs were the practical choice?
No.
More just for fun, viewing pleasure?
Yeah.
Fair
They're
enough.
like, we're in the water, so what if we had crabs?
Yeah, that's fair.
And
that would be all we knew. You know,
yeah.
It's like, hey, we're not going to make like a whale.
A giant dragon. Oh.
Yeah, a dragon.
I thought okay, positive things. I liked the whale. I was all about the whales. I was like, okay, cool. I like whales. I like the water. Mm-hmm. I like the water more than the forest. Just as like I'm like sure. I am the way of the water. I connect with the water. Mm-hmm. I'm a swimmy guy. Mm-hmm. And so I liked it, and I liked the look of it, and I think there had to be some kind of balance between like discovering this water culture, but also not being like, anyways, let's forego everything that we learned about before. Correct. There had to be some kind of happy middle ground, and I liked the kids enough, but I don't think the older kid got enough, and then the older kid dies.
Yeah, what are their names?
And then
continue.
And then like slowly stick together.
Yes, that's right. They're all soulies.
Yeah. Anyways, it just felt like I don't think the older kid got a lot of development. Correct. To where like I did feel something when he died.
Oh, 100%.
I was like, oh, this is it. This is sad. I am sad. And it's like, okay, that is the benefit of the movie that I think is big is the family aspect, and I enjoyed the kind of teenagers, and I enjoyed them like, oh, going off and hunting this whale, and then he leaves them, and he bonds with the whale. That's the outsider, and I'm an outsider. Blah 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 blah. Like I like that, and I think there was the gut punch of the like I need to protect my family. A father's duty is protect his family. I like that stuff.
Sure.
I think that was good for what they were trying to do. Mm-hmm. But do you think this movie needed to be 3 hours?
No, not at all.
Okay. I just don't see where that time went, and then it just felt like, okay, here's another gripe. We'll go back to gripes.
Oh, get mad at Nick for griping too much. Here we go. Continue.
I can't think of more positive things.
I know.
I don't like
movie.
It. Just felt it's a fantastic looking movie.
If this was a piece of crap, it's the most beautiful piece of crap.
I love.
I've ever
there's
seen.
moments of like where like so there's like on like the water dolphin.
Oh yeah.
Which is just a normal dolphin, but
it's just a bull.
Yeah. A water dolphin's just a dolphin, a flying dolphin.
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
like
and he it's like part of like the advertisement. He like gets up on his spear and he's like, "Rah, I'm Jake Sully."
Oh, yep.
Yeah. But it just felt like
I felt like I was there. Sorry, go ahead.
So visual. My word.
Sorry.
I didn't know. I'm a visual. I'm a
Jake Sully.
I'm a audible storyteller. I create stories with my words.
Okay.
And you are
Beautiful.
transported.
Whoa. Yeah. Continue.
I just don't. Okay, it's the reactiveness of everything.
Yes.
Like, it was all reaction to the evil person. It was all reaction to like, okay, I'm gonna hunt these things down. It's like, well, we're gonna not do this. But then like his kids go and get captured. It's like, okay, well, we have to save them twice in this movie.
His only screen time is telling him, "Man, you guys suck."
Yeah.
And so then they're just led to believe, well, if you just keep telling us we suck, then I guess we'll just go figure out how to live our own lives.
I don't know how many times.
Not present at all.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what would help protect your family? Maybe also like loving them.
Mm-hmm.
Like not just they're alive. I am a dad.
Yeah,
like,
I'm a dad because
what
they're
a
alive.
Bar. Like good bar, Jake. Like if I just said that every day, like Hey,
my
Kate,
daughter's alive.
My daughter's alive. I am a dad. I protect my family. She'd be like, did you do the dishes too? And I'm like, no, but she's alive. Yeah. Got it. Okay.
I just, like, it was just so reactive, and I just don't think anyone had a plan. There was no plan whatsoever. Nope. And it was just, like, I think it's encompassed in, like when the bad guy has, like, 2 of his daughters, like, captured, and, like, Jake's, like, well, the bad guy, whatever his name is like, turn yourself in, Sully. And he's like, okay. And he just starts waddling forward with this little dolphin, and then all of a sudden, like, the whale, like, shows up, and he's like, now it's time to attack. This was my plan all along, Let's baby. Go. No, hoorah, hoorah. And so it's just like, it just felt
it's
like
okay that this movie sucked.
No, I understand. Yeah. I understand. It's mid. It's just like I did enjoy stuff in this movie. I just like I have a lot of gripes with it, and I just don't know if viewing it again would make me enjoy it more and understand like what they're trying to do. I just don't. It just didn't. There was no purpose. There was no. I'm trying to think of the right. There was no like, in Sully himself. There was no drive, and there was no like. And I'm not thinking that Sully is like this character that we need to like.
He lost his way. He lost his way to the water.
Whoa. And don't make it start on Terry, because Terry does nothing in this movie
except for almost kill Spider, which was sick and incredibly stupid.
Okay, let's go to that.
Okay. I'm willing to kill the son that I've taken care of for 13 years because he might be related to this blue dude, so that I can get my family.
I don't think she was actually going to kill him.
They start the movie off with, and she doesn't really like him because he's human. I think she was. And he's sitting there going like, that's the only reason his Spider's decision makes sense to even free the dude again.
Yeah.
His mom literally is like, she's like slit my throat a little bit. That was wild, dog.
I don't think she was gonna.
She like actually cut his throat.
Yeah, like to like scare. I think it was just.
Yeah, it scared someone. Yeah, Spider's gonna be a bad dude in the next one. Spider is for sure gonna be.
I don't like Spider at all.
He's gonna get uploaded into an avatar and just start freaking out.
Yeah,
and you know what he's probably gonna go get? The dragon that no one's riding. Probably. Okay, I understand. I do think everyone in life, I think everyone can be redeemed, right? 100%.
And I just like, but this dude, the villain, I'm like,
and like there was only one scene that kind of made it make sense that he would even consider wanting to save Spider.
Yeah, I never thought that he was like the only reason he was friendly to Spider. And maybe it's like, oh, he spent time with him, and like it's just like the Avatar, where it's like if you spend time with someone, then you're gonna like them.
They bond over torturing Na'vi. With them. Yeah, got it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, there's no other father-son thing better. Yeah, I remember when you burned down that village. Yeah. But like they had a connection because he almost killed the woman. So other than that,
what they could have done is spend more time on the villain, trying to understand why his human self was the way that he was, and maybe he is different than that guy.
That's great.
But they didn't do any of that.
No, but they said I'm not that guy, and so that they fixed it.
Right, yeah. So what they did was they want us to just think that happened without us knowing. Mm-hmm. And so when he finally does choose his son, that's him going, maybe there is some hope. And what I think is building is he'll spend so much time now doing Na'vi stuff in his like he's going to go away and have to like spend time, whatever. He's probably going to come to appreciate it and become like somewhat of a good guy. And then Jake's going to probably be like, you want to be my lieutenant colonel?
Sure,
and
probably.
He's like, yeah, Colonel Semper Fi.
Yeah.
Rah. I'm just like, okay, I guess.
I just don't get that like whole.
Yeah.
I understand, like, the redeeming, people be like, oh, yeah, he can come back. And it's like, yeah, sure, great. Darth Vader came back. Right, whatever.
Sure, 100%. Yep.
I just don't, you don't see it. You don't see it.
And that's why I think it's upsetting that there's so much screen time for some of these things to have such little.
Yeah, impact. I agree.
Yeah, there was like 5 storylines going on. Some were like needed. Some were like, this will be great for trailer footage. Mm-hmm. This will look good. And then the things that probably are needed for the story to develop like didn't get those beats. I didn't feel like. So
I agree.
But hey, if you're going to see Avatar because you want to see the blue people kick some ass some more, this
Get ready for you. Buckle up.
They do kick much booty. But if you like wanted to go because you were like, man, the first one told a pretty compelling story, and I'm ready for a very compelling second story. I don't know if they nailed this one.
No.
That's kind of how I feel.
I think I want to like this movie.
I know you do.
Yeah.
And then I said the dragon thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. But then, like, I mean,
Pretty
I just don't have much good to say about
It's
it.
okay. And I get it. And, like, this is how you're built. You want me to be a happy person, and I appreciate that. And you see that Avatar is making me not happy, so you're trying to fix Avatar for me. I don't need you to fix Avatar for me. There's no dragon.
I think James can't. No, there are dragons. There's the tiny dragons.
Nah. They suck.
There's water dragons.
All they do is like try to eat you until you like finally get them to fly. It's like, okay, whatever. I don't care. The big one though, unforgivable. And so it's okay.
Okay.
You don't have to like it more than you actually do.
10 out of 10.
To
overcompensate
for me not liking it. I just wish I would have saw the Puss in Boots sequel.
Heard great things about it.
I've heard like they're like this is one of the best animated movies ever.
Wow.
Like it's probably gonna get nominated and stuff.
Wow.
So
okay.
Maybe this is the year Disney goes down.
Please.
From animated.
Please.
We'll see.
I love that.
But hey, it still looked cool. We still want these movies to be made.
Yeah, I would see a third one.
Yeah, I'm still gonna go see a third one. Gotta see them fire dogs, you know? I would assume they're fire dogs. I don't know. Maybe they ride like fire snails.
Okay, now you just made the greatest movie of all time.
Yeah. 13 years, man. 13
How long did it take you to come up with fire snails?
13 seconds.
Yeah. James Cameron?
He's probably actually listening to this. He's like, these guys.
They bested me. They bested me.
It just...
Is that your phone going off? Is James calling you? Mr. Cameron?
I put him on mute.
I actually blocked his number.
I don't want to hear from him. I don't want to talk to that bro.
Oh, he's done it. Yeah. If they say bro less than 20 times in the next movie.
Well, yeah.
That'd be a win for me.
I'm still interested to see, like I said, I like being in this world. I just felt like I was playing a video game where I was the main character, and then the video game kept making the wrong decision for me. And I was like, damn, but go right. And they're like, no, left. And I'm like, ah.
Yeah, it felt, that's a good thing. It's like, that's a good analogy. It felt like you hit a button, but your input was just wrong. And so you hit square. And it's like, oh, did you mean circle?
They're like, find dragon. And they're like, nope, you meant dragon doesn't exist. I was like, dang it.
You mean fly to the island? Got it.
Yeah. And it just kind of felt like a choose your own adventure. Because this is a world that I would love to choose my own adventure in. To be like, let's go figure out what that is. Like, let's go look at that. But they have to have conflict. And it's like, I don't know. The people who love Avatar love it for like how beautiful it is. Like, you could just have 30 minutes of those floating islands. And it's just this beautiful, like, this is amazing. If you just had a movie where there's no conflict and we're just falling in love with the place, dope. And then you could have something like happen later on. It felt like they were like, but we got to make sure like it's all getting destroyed. It's just like, I don't, now they're not even, the humans aren't even after like the unobtainable element. That was so stupid. They just want to colonize the planet now because the world's exploding.
It was just like, yeah. No, I mean, I don't mind that necessarily. It's more of the, oh, now we're on the whales. It's like, well, no, like you were just on this thing.
There's always another, and so
isn't that humanity?
But they like,
got it.
True,
sure, I get it.
They're like, we don't need that anymore. We need the planet, and I just would like some time spent on Earth to understand why'd you take 15 years to come back? What is it that you need? And why are you doing such a bad job? And why did you clone the guy who failed to do the job that he failed at again? Why not just find a new person who could succeed? It was just like, there's just a lot of like, why, and no one answered them. So it was just a lot of unanswered, unfulfilled questions.
Well, I think that's the new headline of Avatar 2, Unfulfilled Questions.
Amen. Where's the dragons?
Also known as Where Are the Dragons?
Where's the big dragon?
Where's the big
legendary Taruk something.
Mukto.
Yeah. Or is that what Jake's called? No.
Yeah, no, I think he's called.
Yeah, but there's like a legendary one that can.
Turuk Maktosh.
Maybe that's why he's called that, because he can ride the.
Turuk Maktosh.
So it's just like. You even like passed off the mantle so that guy could like be that guy, but you just didn't take the. I don't know. It was weird. But there you go.
Maybe it was on vacation.
Let's land this dragon by saying what?
6.
6? You're going with 6?
Yeah.
All right, I'm 5. Wow, so you okay?
I went down a whole point.
We did it.
I do enjoy the first one more than this.
Yeah,
for sure. That's not a question.
Because I got to spend time in like the interesting world, and I think he just showed us a bunch of new toys, but didn't explain any of them, and didn't like. There's just no.
It was like, hey, here's water, and I'm like, great.
And so next movie's Fire, so maybe Fire will be interesting.
I just
don't worry.
That just sounds exhausting.
3 is the exact same, we just won't go to them anymore.
Yeah, but it's gonna make $2 billion.
It's fine. People can enjoy things. That's okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing this again.
I'm not saying like these movies shouldn't exist. I'm just saying, come on.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Have better opinions.
Now listen, you may have listened to many reviews where this movie is just out of this world. Because technically Pandora is out of this world.
Nice, got it.
But now you've heard from us. Not Us United.
Now you heard this middling review from Not Us United.
I'm sorry it sucked, okay?
It's not my fault. You don't have to apologize to me.
You're really upset that it sucked.
No, I'm not.
I'm so sorry.
I didn't put the big dragon in the movie.
It's a 9 out of 10. I changed my mind.
Get out of here. You hate this movie. I'm surprised it's even a 5.
It's a 9 out of 10, and now you can feel good and relax.
I don't care. I don't care about Avatar.
He cares, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh
but
my
hey,
gosh.
that's why we're us. Not Us United.
Great, thanks. Bye.
Bye.
You've just listened to Not Us United. You can find us under Not Us United on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube. Please leave us a review and consider subscribing to our podcast. You can reach out for future podcast topic suggestions at notusunitedpod@gmail.com.